Welcome to a look at new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. It's Tuesday the 28th of January and we have new mods. This video may not get posted until Wednesday morning because I've got to go out literally in a moment. So apologies if it doesn't upload till Wednesday morning, but anyway, we have had some updates. The placeable liquid fertilizer and herbicide tanks by MrSealyp has had an update. The tank capacity has been increased. That's the pack that has the 60,000 litre tanker in it as a kind of additional or bonus. That's been updated by MrSealyp. The CSZ pack, equipment pack by DD Mod Passionate, has had an update. There was a bit of a clash and problems with the auto unload function and the John Deere cotton pack. That has now been sorted. And the pigsty by KamUs Fendtfan79 has had an update. As far as new mods for today go, there is a Seasons Geo South Poland by KamUs has appeared on the Modhub. So those are the updates. That's the first new mod. The Seasons Geos are always difficult ones. I can't really show you what they do. That's something you have to look in the Modhub, have a look in the description and see what it says. As far as mods for today go, on the actual website, weirdly, one of these isn't showing up, definitely. We've got the sugar beet heap and potato heap, both by Fendtfan79 and LSAgrarservice. And they are these. They're very much like bunker silos, but they're open bunker silos. I say they're open, all of them bar this one. These ones are all potato. There are 3 potato heap mods, and there are 2 sugar beet heap mods. They're basically silos, like I say, like bunker silos. Unlike the bunker silos, I mean, actually, we've got some bunker silo mods that are open, haven't we? But I think they do have tyres down the side. These don't, and you can actually load into these from any direction, which is something a bit different as well. We've got a small one, a larger one, and then there's this one over here with hay bales around the side of it. Now, this one I filled up, and it fills up like a bunker silo, but don't panic. Actually, I'm going to open up the help menu. Because on there now it says open silo and it says fermenting potatoes. Don't worry, it's not fermenting. I think it's using the program in the scripting from the bunker silos to work, because when you start putting the things in, it does say compacting, and it says compacting 100% immediately. You don't have to compact the potatoes or anything like that. So the smaller one, as I was filling this up, started at the front very, very nicely, filled up very, very evenly. When I got to this end, it started going all over the place. It went a little bit higher, it spread out of the sides. It was like there was no kind of edge allowed on it, and it kind of went off all over the place. It came out the front. So when I went to blanket it, there was loads left all around the side. Now the stuff that was around the side was obviously stuff that should have been in the silo, but obviously it had spilled. So I just cleared that up and I dumped that into this one right here. I suppose the only downside is, like a bunker silo, when you come to open these up, because it's basically just for storage, when you open them up you are going to have to unload them using conveyor belts or a bucket wheel loader, that kind of thing, because obviously there's no auger pipe or anything like that. So this one I filled and blanketed, but then when you want to come and get your potatoes, sugar beet back out, if I open silo by pressing L3, there you go, there's all your potatoes. This one holds 332,746, which is an unusual amount. That's the small one. So I can only imagine this large one, which is double the length, that one's got 3 posts, 1, 2, 3. This one's got another 2, so it's kind of double right out to there. I can only imagine this one's going to be over 600,000, knocking on 700,000 if that one's anything to go by. So I mean, that's basically what you do. You come in, you tip, and it goes in. This one is the third one of the potato heaps, and this has got bales on the side of it. I'm assuming this one might do more than the smaller one there, simply because you can get a higher side up here. But again, it's going to be around the sort of 350, 400,000 litre mark, I would imagine. But it's something a bit different that you don't kind of often see. Then over here we've got the sugar beet versions of them. We've got a small one just here, does exactly the same. And this is what I'm saying, this may well have overspilled, because where the posts are, I was loading, but I loaded from the side, or unloading, and as it filled up, it went out to there. But how much of that, actually if I blanket that now, let's see if it'll let me blanket it. Yeah, so all this section out here is overspill, so you then have to come along, clean that up, and then the blanket will kind of cover up the bit that it should be covering up. So just be aware of that. If you keep filling, thinking, oh fantastic, it's taking more and more and more and more, and you've got a lot of spill out the side, that's what you have to kind of tidy it up. So where do we find these? These are under placeables, under silos, and they are 4 slots each for the first one of any that you place. So you've got the potato heap 10 metre by 20 metre. They're not expensive either, are they? No, got the 10 metre by 50 metre, and then we've got a 10 by 20, but that's got the bales around the side of it. Those are the potato heaps. Then the sugar beet heap, we've only got 2, we haven't got one with bales around the side of it. We've got a 10 by 20 and a 10 by 50. And again, like I say, 100, 250, 20 and 50. That's for a silo. In essence, I know, unlike the other sugar beet potato silos we've got, they've got pipes, and it's much easier to unload again. I suppose there's a bit of work involved in this one anyway, but there you go. That's the first of our mods, and that's by Fendtfan79 LSAgrarservice. Next up, we're going to look over here. We've got a metal shed. This is the metal shed. This is by KamUs Fendtfan79. It's 17 slots, which seems a lot for a shed. The texturing and detail on it is brilliant, looks great. I think I placed it around the wrong way, but I say around the wrong way, it depends on which way you want to place it really. But yeah, the guttering, it looks like rusted metal sheeting, corrugated sheeting, however you want to refer to it. We do have a light switch on the outside here. When we do that, got that strip light just under there. Does that do the lighting on the inside as well? Let's have a look. Now, one thing I did notice, there wasn't a sound on the doors. No. I just thought I'd double check, because the wiring thing goes across and it goes to that box there, but that's obviously just the power box. Turn that one off. If we come inside, I mean, the reason it's 17 slots is all the detail. I mean, you look at all the detail in here, there's a lot going on. It's just there for aesthetics, just to look nice. But it's a shed, it's a storage shed for putting things in. Another light switch there. It says, I did find that actually the switch on this was a little bit finicky. No, that was did the doors. Come on. There we go. Lights on the inside. Just there. So there we go. This is by KamUs 0397. Again, this is under placeables, under sheds. 20,000 to buy, 6 metre by 13 metre. I say 17 slots. It's fairly high. It's not a huge shed, but it is what it is. We've got a shed. Fantastic. Moving on, we've got these little beauties. This is the Gens HE561 STA pack. These are static wood chippers, but unlike the static wood chipper we've got in game that you place, and when you put the logs through it, it kind of crushes them. Nothing comes out of them, but you get paid for them. So it was kind of that kind of ethereal, you know, where do the wood chips go? These have now got the pipes, conveyors, so you can actually wood chip and collect underneath them. So if you wanted to set up your own kind of logging thing, you know, we've got a lumber sell point, there's a wood chip sell point, you could have actually the wood chipper there. You could set up a whole forestry kind of setup. It's really nice, I like it. We've got a short version just there, and the longer version. I like the look of this one. I always found on FS19 on console, especially with the mobile wood chippers, that the belts were really short, and it was always really difficult putting longer logs on. They'd fall off, and it just became a real faff to do, and you know, you kind of gave up doing it. So we've got the short version and the long version. You get in these, enter like so, pipe open, takes the cover off, that's good to go. Start engine, I think it's R1 square, and then L1 and X, L1 and square, starts up the belt. So we are now ready for operation, which is very nice. And I don't know why I parked the truck under that one. Oh, I do actually. I was going to show you something in a minute. So you can bring your logs over. If you've seen me do wood chipping on any Let's Play I've done, I generally use, if I'm going to do a Scorpion King or any of those tree harvesters, tree fellers, I would set it to 1 metre cut lengths, use the static one or the mobile one, and I'll bring it over and in 1 metre chunks, just chunk them, bump straight for the wood chipper. Because it's easier on a short belt for 1 metre bits to go on here than trying to put 6-7 metre lengths on, which are too long and want a tip or that kind of thing. So for the shorter one, that's generally how I do it. For the longer one though, we can get away with something a bit longer. So I've got some 6 metre ones there we're going to just put on and we're going to give it a go. So I'm going to pull the truck forward. Now the pipe isn't adjustable, that is fixed in that position, but considering this trailer is one of the higher sided ones, there's plenty of room for bigger trailers under here. You're not going to have a problem. High-sided vehicles, IT runner trailers, anything like that, it's got a nice high angle on that, so that shouldn't be a problem at all. So, so as you can see, this belt is long enough to take a 6 metre length, no problem whatsoever. It'll probably take 7s and 8s. They'll overhang a little bit, but because all of the length will be on the belt, you shouldn't have, I say shouldn't, because you never know, you shouldn't have any problem. But you never can be too sure. Ah, now that's interesting because that belt is moving, that's sat on there perfectly well, and this is why it's always a good idea to have a check, because you never know, do you? It should work and it should push no problem at all, so why is that not moving? And the problem is it's too heavy to actually manipulate. That belt should have gripped that log, that's sitting on, that's the whole point of a long belt. So maybe that's something to be wary of. It's not like it's at a funny angle, there's nothing that's obstructing it or any reason why that should not be feeding in now. But unfortunately it's going to look like it's going to need a nudge from the other end. Oh, that's a mild disappointment, I think. I was really hoping that was going to work, because again, like I've said before, when new mods come out I always start thinking in my head, how could I use that in a let's play, how could I set up for a storyline of some description, you know, setting up your own little login lumber yards, that kind of thing. This would be absolutely brilliant, you know. But if that's not going to work with longer logs, there we go, just needed a bit of a nudge. That shouldn't have stopped again. I thought we had it then, I really did. Okay, well, they're here. And there it goes. Right, so potentially you may have no problems with it. You might find you can get away with, you know, longer logs and they might work more efficiently, I don't know. Possibly. There you go, that's running, the wood chips going through. That should have, at some point that's going to stop coming through, because there are no more wood chips, there's no more logs going in there. Let's have a look in here. Well, that's not filling up anymore, so potentially we have a glitch. Again, another good reason why we should test it. Right, let's jump in, turn it off. Oh, there we go, it did stop. Turn the belt off. There we go. Pipe in, covered over, and there we go. So you find these in placeables under miscellaneous. That's the standard one we normally get that just kind of wood chips them and they evaporate, you kind of automatically sells to the sawmill. It's got the HE561 short for 75 grand, and you've got the HE561 long for 85 grand, which isn't too bad, 10 grand more. I mean, I'd be happy to pay that for that much longer belt, provided the belt works well. It does say very clearly in the Modhub that these need to be placed on very flat ground. It does say to sell the wood chipper it has to be clicked on the concrete base plate if you're going to sell it. Because of technical limitations, the wood chipper should not be rotated by 180 degrees, otherwise it looks weird. Must be placed on self-leveled terrain, because auto ground leveling doesn't work with placeable vehicles. So whereas normally you can just place it and it will auto level and then charge you, I think what it's saying there is that you need to level the ground before you place it. Again, that may turn some people off of it and say, you know what, I'm not going for all that hassle, there's no point, I just won't bother. And if you're not into your login, it may not be for you anyway. But anyway, that's the Gens HE561 STA pack by Vectorman. They're 3 slots each, if I didn't already mention that. which isn't too bad either, I think. Pretty good. Right, last couple. Where's the one over here? Right, bear with me 1 second. So next up we've got the adapter by Redi90. This is a tiny little thing, goes on the back of a 3-point link, and it's got a ball attachment just here. Now, from what I can gather from the website, from the Modhub, what it's supposed to do, because you've got your ball joint here, normally, if you can see that, your ball joint just in there, and you hook up a trailer that requires a ball joint connector, which looks like that. Because that's right in close to the tractor, sometimes your turning circle is hampered by the fact that as you turn, this bar here will come into contact with the side of the 3-point link arms to stop you hitting the wheels and tyres, that kind of thing. So you're limited on your turning circle. What this does, it hooks onto your 3-point link here and brings the ball joint further out, which then technically means that this arm, or these arms, both sides here, have got more room to swing, giving you a better turning circle. That's what I've got from it. I can't find... I did wonder whether it was to adjust the ball hitch up and down, but it doesn't adjust, it doesn't move up and down, it just brings it out further. I may have not picked the best cultivator or trailer to show it, but now you have to be careful with this as well, because this will only do trailers that have got a ball joint. If it's got a pin hitch, the pin hitch goes through and just attaches in further on the 3-point link anyway. But if I hook that up now, that's now hooked up much further out, so when you turn, there's a bit more freedom for that to turn. You can get a tighter turning circle because that's got more room and more freedom to swing. Without that, that arm comes into contact with the side of the 3-point link and so on. So in essence, that's what it's designed to do. I'll read you what it says on the Modhub. It says, adapter for the track for coupling devices with low coupling to achieve a lower turning circle, which is kind of what I've got from that. There you go. It's not too expensive either. Let's just turn that off. It is under... I think it was under miscellaneous? Trying to think where I found it now. There you go. The lizard adapter, 1100. It's 3 slots. So if you're finding you've got vehicles and you know you haven't got a great turning circle, it's not a mega expensive thing to get. But like I say, just be wary. This will only do the ball hitch type. It won't do pin hitches, the ones that are round with a hole in the middle. It won't do those connections. It will do the ball ones. So there you go. That's the adapter by Redi90. Moving on to the last, and for me possibly the most exciting, and for me personally, because I like doing this as a kind of a thing anyway. It's this little beauty. On Blacksheep Modding's website they showed some video of this a little while ago, and I've always found with bale forks, they can be a bit finicky and a bit awkward, and they're not always great to use. It's finding a set that work well. I know a lot of people will jump straight to autoload bale trailers because they just can't be bothered with the hassle and that kind of thing, and that's absolutely horses for courses. You do what's right for you, you do what makes you happy. I like doing baling. I just find it quite therapeutic, and I like moving bales about. This thing is the Fork Lizard Spino or Spino with claws. There's an FW&T version for front loader, wheel loader and telehandler. They're 2 slots each, which is really, really low. And on, well, I'm going to show you in a second. I'm going to show you now. You know what? Let's just get straight into it. I'll show you the various versions. Now, what I would suggest is, whatever you're using, you might want to weight on the back of it, especially the telehandlers, because you can obviously adjust the boom forward. Wheel loaders are normally quite heavy anyway. You should be alright. You can see with the weight on the back of that, I'm already getting a bit of wheel slip here. But once I get that on the front, we should be right. Now, the articulation on this, it's designed to be in this position. Okay, because you can't tip it that way as you would normally expect to kind of drop bales off. But what you can do, especially with a telehandler, if you put that out a bit, bring it all the way up and swing it round like so, you can put bales down vertically by doing it that way round. Be warned, I tried this with these bales, square ones. I also tried it with round bales. It does work on round bales, but if you tip it up like this, I had bales, even with the claws into the bales, were sliding off the bottom. It's designed to be used in this orientation. realistically that's how it's designed to be used, and in this orientation it's brilliant. I did still get a bit of bale creep, oddly enough, but anyway, right, claws, it's, let me think, so L1, R1 and then right stick up and down. So L1, R1, right stick up and down will retract or place the claws in, like so. Now this for me is a baling game changer. If you love your baling and you like doing it, I found these work brilliantly, because the amount of bales you can move at once makes a huge difference. They seem to be very well thought out. They seem to, I mean, the mod seems to work alright. From the little bit of testing I've done, you might find the more you use them, you might find something a bit different. Oh, I'll tell you why that's done that. Bear with me a second. That's better. It's because I saved the game and came back out again. They were ethereal bales. They weren't actually there. They were kind of not loaded. That's better. Right, so L1, R1, claws in, like so. Make sure they're all the way in, and boom. I love this. It's so good. Now, there is a little bit of bale creep. You can see those bales moving. They're shifting a little bit, which you seem to get no matter what forks you use. But what's great about these is, without tipping over my wheel loader, my telehandler, whereas most bale forks you get a bit of movement and you know, they can be a little bit finicky. Stopping, starting, up and down, swinging it around, they're on there. I mean, that's, for me, that's massive. That's a huge, huge thing. It means you can manipulate these no problem at all, without any grief, any aggro. When it comes to loading and unloading, a lot at a time, it's absolutely brilliant. They're precise. And like I say, what I will show you, well, I'll just unload these first, do the next ones. Unload those, up we go. So for unloading full trailers and stuff like that, blimey, or even loading trailers, it's so quick. They just seem to be very intuitive, I think is the best way of putting it. Or maybe it's just because it suits the way I like to do it. I don't know what it is, but I really like these. And obviously, the more you do it, the faster you become. So loading and unloading becomes a much, much easier task. Just brilliant. Fantastic. Now, like I say, what I will do is take the next ones and I'm going to show you what I meant about unloading them. If you wanted to do, I don't know why you would want to do them the other way, but, and you can turn your stacks around however you want to do them. You haven't got to unload them or load them this way. It depends how they're stacked in the first place. Like I said, we'll do round bales too. That's not a problem. It will do all bale types. It won't do pallets. So I thought someone's bound to say, oh, I wonder, will it do pallets? It doesn't. I've tried. It won't pick up pallets. So, like I say, if I extend the boom like this, I think, well, actually I'm going to place them this way up. They do that. Because they're not designed to be. I mean, technically, yeah, the hooks are hooked in, so the claws are in, and it shouldn't do that. But I thought it'd be nice if you could kind of put them down that way and do the stacks up that way if you wanted to, but they slide off. So yeah, I mean, it's designed to be operated in this position, realistically. But I thought I'd show you, just, you know, they're not infallible, but they are very, very cool. Sorry, I've gone on ages on these. I just wanted to show them off. I think they're really, really cool. So what we're going to do is have a look in store. Like I say, there are various different places you're going to find these. Under telehandlers, we've got two. I think we've got a small and a large. So you've got the Spino T, the Spino T Big, 4,500 and 7,500. The smaller one is about half the size. Then we've got the front loader, so the Spino F. There's only one of these. There's not a big one because obviously the front loaders aren't as large. So you've got the Spino F, which is the same as the small one, the standard one, under telehandlers, like so. On all of these, we can change the main colour, which is the frame itself, like that. We can change the design colour, which does the actual claws to whatever design you want to go with. That's the same on all of them. And then we've got the W version, which is the wheel loader version. Again, we've got the W for wheel loader, the smaller one, and the larger one, which is the one I've just shown you. And they all do exactly the same, like that. So yeah, I mean, if you like your baling, if you're into that, these are a brilliant set of forks. And that is it for today. Like I say, apologies if this doesn't post till tomorrow morning, but family commitments and whatnot, I really do need to get off. So I love you and leave you there. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.